I visited a friend of mine with an eclectic car collection. Art Taxman spent a day in Miami with me doing what I love to do most, talking cars and looking at old Ferraris.
What do you think, Tom? Sound
I
right?
think it's great. Sounds great.
It's got a hole in the muffler, I think.
Sounds a little bit better, right?
It sounds better, yeah.
So, what got you into Ferrari? Like, why did you?
When I was a kid, I went to high school in Chicago, and I used to hang out in the library with another young friend, and he and I used to read Car and Driver. It was U.S. I think it was Sports Cars Illustrated in those days. And we used to read Road and Track, and we were, thrilled with the idea of Phil Hill
Yeah.
and Von Trips and all the great drivers, and Moss and Clark. And so we knew about Ferraris. I think I probably was introduced by my young friend to those cars. And one day I was standing in the park on the South Shore Drive near the Museum of Science and Industry, and the traffic was backed up going home in the evening, and I heard a beautiful noise.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I looked, and it was a red short wheelbase Berlinetta. And I said, that's a Ferrari. Now I know
Right.
what a Ferrari is. And then about that time in '62, the Road and Track came out, the August issue, with this car on the cover. And it said, "Portal to a driver's paradise," was the caption on the picture of the driver's door and passenger seat.
Right.
And the end of the article was almost every sport car's owner's dream.
Right. All right. So, what's the story on this car?
All right, this car I found in Chino Hills. I was looking for an Alpha to work on, and I just happened to pass the F's in the LA Times paper, and I saw Ferrari for $7,000. Ferrari.
What year was
I
this?
said, that was 1981. I went down to see it. I hauled it home.
That's great.
It had a hole in the block, and it was a primer.
Oh, so that's why it was.
Yeah. And I said to the guy on the phone when I called, I said, listen, you got a Ferrari down there for $7,000. I said, what's the matter? Did it throw a rod? He said, how'd you know?
Yeah, well, let me
I
guess.
brought it home, and I had the block welded, machine, line board, and, everything. Been driving it for, I don't know, this is my 30th year with this car.
Oh, wow.
It's been
Wow,
a
that's
great
great.
joy. This
Great.
car's been a great joy.
That's great.
And always rewarding to drive. They need a little DLC, but they respond to driving them.
No, that's great.
Another car in Art's collection was his Series 1 330 GT 2+2. I was first introduced to this car when Art brought it to Moroso a few years ago. It's a little rough around the edges, but it seemed to attract as much of a crowd as the shiny race cars at the track. There must be something about a project car that brings the dreamer out of all of us.
It's 5457 is the number,
Uh huh.
and it's got the engine from 5407. Kerry Chesbro's site shows both cars out of Switzerland, so maybe they were both at the same garage. And,
Right. So where did you find this?
I found it on eBay, bid on it. I was the high bidder, but it was below the reserve. The seller called me immediately when the auction closed and said, "Are you interested at that price?" I said, "Yeah." So I happened to be in Baltimore at the time. They brought it over for me to look at. It looked like a nice old honest car to me. Kendall Merritt drove it over.
Oh, okay.
And he gave me a ride in it. I said, "Lean on it a little bit, will you please, so I can hear it." And he's smarter than I am, so I said, "I think I'll drive it back to Florida." He said, "I wouldn't do that." So anyway, I bought it and had it shipped down. I had a big smile on my face when it came.
Oh, that's great.
And, elderly gentleman, he bought it from Ed Waterman in like '76 or something. And interesting story about the wheels. He said, "Why is that car $300 less than my car?" He said, "Because it has the alloy wheels, and you got the wire wheels." He said, "Put the wire wheels on that car and put the alloy wheels on my car."
Yeah, I want the cheaper wheels. So the alloy wheels are cheaper.
So I got Campagnolos.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so he wanted to redo it. He spent a lot of money on it, and then he realized he's going to have to put another $20,000 in paint, body, and interior,
Or more.
or more. And he
Definitely more.
bought a 550 Maranello,
Oh, okay.
so he could enjoy the car.
Right.
You know?
Now that you're telling the story, because I don't have, I'm not that good with all my numbers. I just realized I know who the owner is because I see him every year in Baltimore at their Radcliffe party.
Oh, McBurney.
Yeah.
Dick McBurney.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice job.
Yeah, very nice guy. No, and he still has the 550.
He still has a 550.
Well, I'm sure Dick will be happy to see this car.
Yeah, this car is...
To see that's alive and running.
Great, and I drive it. And,
yeah.
I mean,
cool.
it's...
No, that's a big thing.
I want to thank Art Taxman for taking the time to show me his collection. He's a true and dedicated enthusiast. Thanks for watching TomYoung.net.